What's going on, everybody? It's Ricky with Video Homicide, and I'm back with a tour of the 2024 sketchbook. So, this isn't everything that I did in 2024, but it's everything that I did that was not comic related or a painting. So, let's get into it. We're going to be battling a lot of glare, so I'm going to kind of be holding the pages just to avoid that. But this was January 1st, the first thing I drew in 2024. Sort of the first time I got the idea to do this MAD, the macaroni and dope thing, which I did a zine called Macaroni and Dope last year, and it just collected some of the stuff that's actually in here, including this piece. So next we've got, this is a pencil sketch I did of Leatherface while I was watching the film. I drew this before it got to that scene, but I just kind of wanted to play around with that. I've drawn that a few times. Next we just got a random Grim Reaper with a triple X fucking 666 liquor. Who knows what it is? Probably piss. This right here is a ballpoint pen sketch of a sort of a Filthy Ralph Thrasher cover with the Jake Phelps tombstone there. He was the longtime editor of that magazine. Really cool stuff. For those of you that don't know, I'm a big fan of skateboarding culture. Not a skateboarder myself, but I definitely have watched a lot of skate vids and stuff. We actually got into it deeply one night during a live stream. So if you ever get a chance to check out those Friday night smoke sessions or the Saturday night specials, anything like that, like, you never know what we're going to talk about. And, like, I'm probably the last person you'd fucking associate with Thrasher magazine, but there it is. I'd love to do like an actual, Thrasher cover parody. I've thought about maybe doing the Neckface Thrasher cover, the first one he did with the demon doing like the fucking board slide or whatever it was. This is a piece right here that I did of my homie hipster doofus Kellen, who works at Odyssey Records. He's in a band called the Susans, and there's a photo, and that was like the composition. I thought that would kind of make a cool drawing, so I'd like to get this original to him eventually. This was a piece for Cinema 187 issue 5, which was the Asian edition. So this is from Female Prisoner Scorpion. This one right here is also from the Asian edition. This is from The Killer, John Woo's The Killer, which is one of my favorite flicks of all time. I actually really like the way this turned out. Right here, we've got a piece, another one from the Asian edition from Shogun Assassin. I really do like the way that one turned out. Everything in this I'm pretty much proud of. I'm pretty proud of it all, I should say. Ricky O, Story of Ricky, one of the most fucking awesome movies that ever came out of Asia, or out of the world for that matter. Just playing around with different things. Just like sketches that I think I could maybe get something out of down the road. I like to keep, so like I consider that very rough, and same with this, but probably the eyeball thing is why I kept it, or maybe this texturing bullshit down here. This was another piece for the Asian edition. This was from The Raid, which is a fantastic flick. That scene in particular where he puts this guy executes a bunch of dudes and then runs out of bullets and then puts the gun on this guy's shoulder for him to wait, and then he ends up saying fuck the bullet and grabs a hammer as he's thinking of ramen with a fly. This piece right here is from Sadness, another Asian one. This was like the opener for issue 5. Welcome to the 5th filthy issue of Cinema 187. This time around, we're going to take a look at some art inspired by the best horror and exploitation films to come out of Asia. I'll pour you a glass of my famous LSD spiked malt liquor while you take a look at the menu. And then this is the menu, which is actually the lineup of artists for that issue. And if you look at the actual issue, like, this looks way more filthy and like stained up and stuff. So like I've personally stained that piece of watercolor paper with a bunch of random shit, and yeah, it's a little fun Filthy Ralph shooting a Mormon or Jehovah's Witness, whatever the fuck you want to call it. This right here is all dot work. Okay, so this is from Oni Baba, which is one of my favorite flicks from the 60s. I believe it's from maybe the early 60s. Really good flick. This was the back cover of number 5, and then this also has all of the hand-lettered articles. Like, I hand-lettered all these fucking things. It was a nightmare, but it's the format I have to go on with now because I love the way it looks. I just hate fucking doing it. This right here, little bandit, filthy rough. The thing is with this, I was like, I was fucking around because I kind of had this composition in my head subconsciously, and I'm like, what the fuck is this from? So if you look at this and then look at the Bandito Motorcycle Club patch, like it's kind of similar. So I don't know. I made a sticker out of this, and I fucking gave out a few stickers at the Zine Fest. I actually got one left, but I'm keeping it for myself. Another example of just keeping some random bullshit. Filthy Ralph on the fucking 187 garbage can. So that's from April. Just a selection of random drawings. These were probably all done at work. That one right there, I really do like. Pizza Dude's got 30 hits of strong acid on this pie for you, pal. Cowabunga. And then there's like the initial idea tucked in behind there. Yeah, this right here. I made this for like a new profile picture for 187, and then I realized that I spelt filth wrong on his hat after I already posted it. So I had to fucking quickly change it, and yeah, pissed me off. Little Wolverine action. This right here is really fun. This is Filthy Ralph on the crapper, but my most favorite thing about this page is there's a sign on the wall that says "Kill the guy that's fucking my wife for 5,000," and it's clearly Ralph in the little photo. It's course reading 187. This is just a what the fuck are they called? Faber-Castell brush pens messing around the color. I didn't outline everything in black, as you can see. I kind of kept like his skin neutral, but in hindsight, I like if I was doing this now, I would do the whole thing in black, or do the whole thing with no black, one or the other. But I like how I did like the color thing. This was the back to a zine that's actually there's only one copy in existence because the thumb drive I had it stored on foolishly corrupted, and I lost all like I had backups of everything, but it was a bummer because that was like my main thumb drive I used to print stuff and all that kind of shit. But and here's like this is the second surviving cover. So like I have the complete zine of all the Grand Theft Auto, Rockstar, Red Dead Redemption, Manhunt, Bully, Warriors, like everything. I like every character from a Rockstar game that I fucked with was represented in this zine, and there's only one copy. I mean, I could always remake it, but I've yet to do that. And then this is just an example of all the characters. So Red Dead Redemption, Max Payne probably. Red Dead Redemption 2, I want to say this might be from... all the names are written on the backs of these, so that's definitely Manhunt 2. This is from State of Emergency, if you remember that one. Max Payne for sure with the pill bottle. This one's probably GTA Liberty City Stories, I want to say. Bully. Warriors. Manhunt 1. Red Dead 1. This would be Franklin from GTA 5. That's Vic from Vice City Stories. This is Trevor from 5. Tommy Vercetti. CJ. CJ, matches! Nico Bellic. I think this is Lost and Damned guy, I want to say, perhaps. No, that's Lost and Damned. Who the fuck's this one? That's probably not Carl. What was his name? Luis from what the fuck was that one? Ballad of Gay Tony was a really good one too. This is the rough sketch designs for 187 number 6, which I think are really fucking solid, to be honest. Like as rushed as it was, and like I'm not a big ballpoint pen guy, but like for a ballpoint pen drawn, I really don't mind this. And this was a photocopy of this just so I could color it. And here we've got like the rough idea for how I was going to do the intro to issue 6, and then just some little Ricky doodles. Kind of like this is sort of like an idea for a painting, but Wario 187 Wario, a lot of fun with that one. This is this is probably the most solid rat think I drew up to this moment. August 1st. We had a living living room with Sleepy Cutie. So my wife was sleeping when I drew that. This was featured in 187 number 6. This is the logo for the 187 cards. And then these are all the originals of the cards. Jason, Freddy, Michael, Raph, Cheech and Chong. I'm not going to say all the names, but, you know, those are a blast to do, dude. And, like, some of these, like, these guys didn't make the cut, but that's Jeff Goldblum from Death Wish. And that's the dead president, Patrick Swayze from Point Break. There might be a RoboCop was another one that got launched. There's the original, or this is the original of the drawing. Actually, you know what? No, this isn't. This is a photocopy because the original drawing is done on 9x12, and then this right here, I didn't keep it blue. I ended up turning it pink. And there's the original for that. One of my favorite drawings I did last year. All the skulls, Dr. Satan giving him LSD right to the brain. You got the guys in the back. If you know that scene from House of a Thousand Corpses, there's the one guy like eating a bowl of cereal, so I had to sneak that in. This is the opener for 187 number 6. That's a fun one right there. Ralph holding all the zines. This was a good one. I did this on a live stream with Retro or Die. If you look at some of my older sketchbook stuff, like you'll see that I've drawn this type of stuff a lot, like kind of a crowd of characters, which is something I want to do again. That right there is fun. That was from Halloween. No, that October 1st. I drew that at work. He's puking into the fucking... That's with Micron, so I took my time with that. Got paid for that one. That right there is a really fun demon head. Some more stuff, sort of inspired by like Tattoo Flash. I'm not the biggest fan of this one, but I really do. I would get this tatted on me, this one. This is Little Ricky's dad. So my character, Little Ricky from the Filthy Ralph comics. This is his dad, Rodney. Yeah, really like the way that guy turned out. This is just more hand-lettered stuff from issue 6. This is Tom Bunk homage. So Tom Bunk did a really cool piece of that. So I did this and I colored it digitally. The second half of the opener from 187 number 6. This right here is the Filthy Ralph Dope Addicted action figure. Really love that. And then the last thing I did of the year was the Celebration 187, man. They're fucking... like Ricky's like ladders like tilting. Like if you can see all the motion lines and stuff. Really love that. Sort of one of the last times I did that sort of style of line that went away from the Fly. So let's continue. I'm gonna grab this right here because I think this is of merit. I've shown all these. This stuff has all been posted in places. But this is Filthy Ralph 4-panel comics, original art, and it says 2 because there's 2 stories in here complete. This is the original art for Pawn Shop Funnies and Out on Parole. So I'm just going to kind of go through these. So this is how these are the originals. So this is how I did it. When I serialized this on Instagram, I did it 4 panels at a time. And that's the entire story for the first one. And then we jump into Out on Parole, which I started a while ago. Like I started this... maybe even in... I started this before I started Pawn Shop Funnies. And then I went all the way up to here, and then I started doing this stuff to finish the story off. And ended up adding a decent amount. And that's just like a really fun exercise to do. If you're looking into making comics... start off with the 4-panel things, man. Even if every 4 panels is just one story, then fuck, you're laughing. Next, we're gonna look at this was also from 2024. This is Vomit Coffin, which I've done a live reading of this. This is all the original little sketches that I did. I kept this because this is the first place I wrote Vomit Coffin. And just inspiration, like this was sort of the inspiration of the cover. This is the prop Henrietta head they used in the Evil Dead 2 popping out of the ground. Aleister Crowley, because there's a rip off of that.